We're back on the second day of Project Hyundai, and we're gonna go at this cowling again. I brought a puller to get the windshield wipers off. Basically, the bolts gave me a hard time. Typically, I can wrestle them off, but today they didn't want to wrestle off. They're 14 millimeter, so we'll just go ahead and spin those off because they're already loose. Put your bolts and your covers in a place where you're not going to lose them. Drop them. It looks a little bit on the large side here, but that's what I use to pull these larger windshield wiper pivot assemblies off, and they give me a hard time. That is fitting miserably. We'll see if, again, that cowling is sort of getting in the way, and that is, well, fortunately, replacing that cowling, so I'll put a little bit of pressure on it. I'm not going to worry about parts I'm replacing. Now let's just see. I know you guys are going to comment that there is a pivot puller for windshield wiper assemblies. However, I've used them and they're miserable, and they're just as miserable as this. So. There we go. Or it slipped. Man, that's super tough. I know my pulley's going a little sideways here, guys, but she is tough. So we've converted our puller to a two-prong puller. I've taken the third prong off, and you can see that there's a spot there where it can easily be moved with a couple nuts and bolts, and we're going to give this another shot. I'm pretty determined to see what we're going to get out of it. Alright, we got that one in. Okay, that's under there. See if we can get a second one under. Just going to give it a little tap. See if we can get that. Oh, she slipped out. Well, I'm hoping, guys, that little snapping sound we heard was not the windshield. I'm hoping that was just a little bit of plastic, but I guess we're going to find out. We'll see. If it is, guys, it happens. Working on cars, well, not necessarily the right tools all the time, it happens. Well, looks like she moved this time. That's good news. We'll pull that off just to make me feel better. There she is. She's off. That's one. All right, we'll do this old school, guys. It'll take more time. There we go. I think that moved for us, guys. There we go. Excellent. It's tapered shafts. There we go. You can see how much stuff is in there. There's a lot of stuff. So obviously these need to be cleaned up just a little bit before we put them back on. Maybe even throw some grease on them. All right, so that's a part. So now it's a little bit more downhill. We're going to remove the clips from this area here, 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 and here. And then there's a little bit of plastic stuff around there, and we should be in pretty good shape. I believe these will just push down in the middle. And then I can pull up if I remember correctly. Yep. Very easy clips, guys, on the Hyundais. That's one thing that's really easy on this car. Just take them all out. And it's just the opposite. Push the pins back, and when we put them back in, we'll put the little pieces back on. So just to show you what I'm doing, guys, that's the clip. You just pull the pin out, you put the clip in, and you'll push back down to tighten it. Super easy. This one was not overly healthy, so it broke. Now I may have spares that I pulled at the wrecking yard, and if not, we'll get some. When you go to the wrecker, just make sure you make yourself a list. Get to the wrecking yard, you've got your list, you're not going back 18 times. Been there, done that. Alright, so we must be very close now. Pull off this weather stripping. Ooh, lots of stuff under there. Yuck. This little piece here pulled off on me too. I pulled that off just now. Probably get some weather strip adhesive and or some two-way tape. Get those back on there, but for now we're going to dry them out. They're very wet and gunky. I suspect the damage to this cowling is simply that somebody took a snow brush or a knife scraper, went too low, took off a pile of fins, made a hole. There we go. You can see where the previous owner attempted the repair. To be quite honest with you, that's a lot easier than what I'm doing today. Now, did we damage the windshield at all? No, it doesn't look like we did. It looks like I got away with it, so that's all good news, guys. There's no cracks on the windshield anywhere. Stuff happens. If I need to get a windshield, I get a windshield. Windshield's old anyways. Probably benefit from a new one. Wonderful thing about new ones, not on a budget build. Obviously that would be an unforeseen cost from me being a little bit hasty. But the wonderful thing about budget builds, when you want to do something small like that, it's not really a big problem. It's not an expensive windshield to have replaced. Flat rubber, so the trim pieces. We'll lift and clear those first. See if we can snap it back in here. Okay. The next thing we want to make sure of is that we get underneath that windshield. And it looks like it's lining up pretty good, guys. That's lining up very nicely. It's nice about factory parts. A lot of aftermarket guys out there, super big on the aftermarket parts, but to be quite honest with you, I have a preference for the used ones because they're factory and they fit like factory. Yeah, they have a little bit of wear and tear. They're not as pretty as buying a new part, but if you find something that's good, I found lots of stuff that's already been replaced on other cars. It works really, really well. So we're going to go ahead and put in our clips. I'm going to omit the one in the middle because that's the one I'm going to have to go get a clip for. I may have some in the trunk. I'll go take a look. Kept those handy. Looks like I may have two actually that are broken. We'll see here. Yeah, it looks like this one here is missing a prong, but it'll do the job. It'll go in there nicely. It may not live to do this a second time, but it's there. So now we can see that car looks significantly better, especially if you're buying a car and you're looking to sell it. It's definitely those types of issues that hurt this car. This car doesn't have a working air compressor either. The belt has been pulled. The air compressor sounds, or I should say the AC compressor sounds really unhealthy. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to do that on this car. We might. It might be a good experience in playing with air conditioning. Go ahead and put those back on. We will be cleaning this up in the future, but for now, for the purposes of this video, just in disassembly and reassembly for one of the projects on the Hyundai, we're just going to put it back together. The purpose of these videos is the budget Hyundai. So just showing you some of the things that you come across if you're doing a budget build. There you go. The next thing we're going to be doing in this video, guys, is replacing the shifter bushings on this car. There's a kit I bought from bushingfix.com, which I'll be providing the link for down in the comments. This gentleman makes kits that essentially make it so that you don't have to replace the entire shifter linkage cable through the firewall, which is great. It's a big, should be a big time saver. We'll go ahead and start on that truck. I'll still have the console apart from the last time we did it. The other thing I don't like about these rust inhibitor systems, guys, is the way that they're installed. You can see that there's lots of wiring from some guy who just threw this in here, a little box down below, a couple green wires for grounds. They need to be, we're going to remove those. I like all my stuff to look stock. I don't like to have battery drain issues, which currently this car has, but I disconnected the fuse from it. So there should not be battery drain issues from the rust inhibiting system. I think it's just been sitting too long. So that battery's unhappy. So we're going to need a battery. So that'll be a trip to the parts store to get that. Wipers are back together, guys. That's perfect. Like I said, we're just missing one clip in the middle. Some guys would say to heck with it, but I'm pretty meticulous when it comes to that kind of stuff. We'll make sure it's all back together.